Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that of the delegation by the European Parliament.
Of my colleagues to fully support and endorse the findings of the European Union Election Observation Mission as presented by our colleague and Chief Observer Mario David. The European Parliament is the only directly elected body of the European Union representing 500 million Europeans. First of all, I would like to state that these elections follow on from a long period of political instability that has made the context of these elections a subject of enduring debate inside the country and around the world.
Our preliminary assessment is that presidential elections was administered in line with the law in an environment falling in some cases short of constitutional principles. Following 3 days of voting, the Pact informed the European Union Electoral Observation Mission that voter turnout was around 47.3% at the time of writing this preliminary report. The voting and counting process was orderly and well organized in most polling stations and district committees observed, with only minor procedural problems and a limited number of violations noted by our observers. To be more specific, and referring more in detail to the election days, our 150 observers were divided in 63 teams that operated in 26 governorates. In total, 143 observations were made during the opening of the polling stations for the 3 days of voting. Observed polling stations opened on time or with short delay, and our observers generally assessed the overall conduct of opening procedures as good or very good. Altogether, our missions made 1,389 observations during voting hours on all 3 election days. The overall conduct of the voting was generally assessed as good or very good, despite minor procedural infractions reported. Voters had a good or very good understanding of the voting procedures, and the polling station staff's performance was likewise good or very good. There was no tension or unrest in the vicinity of the observed polling stations. The decision to extending vote did not appear to affect the work of the polling stations. 39 observations of the counting procedures were made. The assessment in 29 of those was good or very good. Military and law enforcement personnel respected the PEC guidelines. Out of the total 1,694 visits to polling stations, an authorized presence of such personnel was reported in 77 and 63 cases respectively. Observers note that polling stations were not accessible for voters with disabilities in more than a quarter of polling stations visited, although there was always a helping hand for these cases. Secrecy of the vote could have been undermined in 23 cases. On election days, in some governorates, a number of journalists were reportedly obstructed in their work, arrested or detained while covering the polling.
رئيس بعثة البرلمان الأوروبي كان قد قال بوضوح أو أشار بوضوح إلى شكرا.